Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest. If someone asked me why have we seen a correction in the markets, I might have replied because of tariffs. But I'd probably change my answer right now to uncertainty. I do think uncertainty is the reason we have seen a correction in the markets, and is also a reason why we might go into a recession. So what I'm going to do in today's video is show you a couple of examples of uncertainty and how that can change behavior of not only consumers but also businesses. Okay, so both of these examples are about a week old. Now, the first one is from an article I read last night from Chief Executive. They did a poll, and this is for all the CEOs, maybe not all of them, but a lot of CEOs in the United States. And they have discovered that CEO optimism plummets in March amid tariff uncertainty. So we have the two words there, tariff uncertainty. In my opinion, it's more along the lines of uncertainty. The whole reason I'm thinking now it's uncertainty is because we saw this play out in late 2018 around tariff uncertainty again. And the reason this is really important, why uncertainty is really important, can be really linked back to COVID-19. So remember, the markets plunged in most of March. I think the bottom was March 23rd. And the whole reason the market plunged at that point in time was because of uncertainty when it came to the effects of COVID-19 on the economy. And what helped trigger the V-shaped recovery? It's that the uncertainty became less because governments announced what they were going to do, and that was stimulus. And that meant the market was more assured of what was going to happen, and that's why the market rallied. So that's another reason why I think uncertainty is the key reason we have seen the markets drop over the past few weeks. Okay, so this was actually a concerning article because when businesses have a lot of uncertainty, they're going to plan probably for the worst case scenario. They're not going to plan to spend as much as they might have otherwise. And that can affect also consumer sentiment and confidence. And we've seen both business and consumer sentiment drop like a rock in the United States. And that is going to significantly affect spending. And we know that spending is really important when it comes to the economies of the world. It's also the reason why people or kids don't get financial education at school. Because if they get financial education at school, they're actually going to spend less. I'd love to see if there's any research on this, but they're more likely to spend less and more likely to invest that money. And the government doesn't want you to do that. The government wants you to spend as much as possible because consumer spending is a large part of GDP. And the government wants GDP to go up. Anyway, so this was actually a little bit of concerning poll, and we have seen confidence absolutely plummet in the past month. In fact, CEO's rating of current business conditions in the US fell 20% from January, from 6.3 to 5 out of 10 on a scale where 1 is poor, 10 is excellent. This is the lowest level since spring of 2020. What happened in spring of 2020? This is American spring, not our spring. That was when the pandemic shut down businesses around the world. And you would think that there's no way sentiment could get any worse than back then. But more troubling is CEO's forecast of what the conditions will be like in 12 months from now. That fell by an even greater margin, 28%, from 7 to 5. The last time CEO's outlook hit that low was November 2012. So we're talking about 13 or almost 13 years ago. So this is a pretty good article written from or by Melanie C. Nolan in Chief Executive website. I'm pretty sure there's a magazine as well. I actually have no idea if there's a magazine. So there's a lot here. Deeply concerned. That's a nice little headline for a portion of the article. Recession forecasts. What is your best forecast for the US economy over the coming 6 months? 9% said severe recession, 39% mild recession or slowdown. So 48% of American CEOs believe United States might go into recession. And if they do believe we're going to go in recession, or United States, what are they going to do with their spending? They're much less likely to spend, and we don't want that to happen. 23% think it's going to be flat. So that means 71% of CEOs in America believe the economy is going to be flat or move into recession. Only 3% think there's going to be a strong growth. So pretty good article here. What else do we have? Tariff effects. Now, you know my opinion of tariffs. And so we don't have to go into that. So what are CEOs' opinions of tariffs? More than likely, they're not going to be positive, and they're not. Some believe there's positive effects. 10% believe there's positive effects. But by far, we're talking about 76% think there's going to be negative effects. 5% said no idea. And I'm not sure if those 5% of CEOs should be running a company, because I could almost guarantee every single company is going to be affected by tariffs. Anyway, so in business optimism, 56% less optimistic. We don't want that to become worse than that and that sort of thing. So anyway, so this is a pretty good article. I do recommend going through these sort of things. People might complain about polls, they're not accurate, that sort of thing, but that's absolute rubbish. Okay, now on to the second bit of news flow I want to show you. This is from Delta Airlines. They released a trading update last week, and I finally got around to actually reading this last night, and it was quite disturbing. And again, this highlights the importance of confidence, in particular, consumer confidence. Anyway, they have issued a downgrade. So total revenue was initially going to be up between 7 and 9%. Now they only think revenue will be up between 3 and 4%. That's a pretty big downgrade. Operating margins from 6 to 8% down to 4 to 5%. And earnings per share, they're expecting that to be between 70 cents and $1. Now only between 30 cents and 50 cents. But it's the reasoning why. The outlook has been impacted by the recent reduction in consumer and corporate confidence caused by increased macro uncertainty, driving softness in domestic demand. Premium international loyalty revenue growth trends are consistent with expectations and reflect the resilience of Delta's diversified revenue base. But again, confidence, uncertainty. And that is a reason why I think we might be heading into recession. I think the probability, just by the poll we saw from the CEOs, they think it's a 50-50. I think the probability of the United States moving into recession is more likely 25%. I tend to be a little bit more optimistic. In fact, the last time I would have thought the chances of us going to recession, United States again, was higher than 25%. Probably would have been, it would have been COVID-19, but I thought that would have been a short term hit. And definitely would have been back in, the GFC. Nothing since then, nothing between the GFC and now has made me believe that there is a 25% chance that United States might go into recession until now. Okay, so interesting times we are in, and who knows what's going to happen in the future? We just don't know. But the one thing that will improve conditions and change my mind is that uncertainty we have been seeing changes to more certainty. And the best way to do that is for Trump just to change his opinion on tariffs. I think that would help a lot. And that's exactly what happened in 2018, late 2018. Okay, if you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.